Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. Today we are here for day 3 of the 12 days of Christmas. Oh, it is such a nice, calm morning. I hope you all have your coffee or your tea or your favorite beverage and you are enjoying a slow Sunday morning. So today we do have 2 special guests that will be sharing videos after the live. They may put their videos up now. I'm not exactly sure what the time frame is, but we have Kathy Zilski, who is going to be sharing a video today, and also Mindy Egan. Mindy's such an overachiever, I'm telling you. Mindy was assigned 2 days, and so far she's done every single one of them, you know. But Kathy Zilski is up today, and I thought it was ironic because at all the SCT events, Catherine always says it's CZ like Sunday morning, and I guess it is here too. We didn't plan that, but it just worked out perfectly. So I'm excited to see what Kathy has for you later, and I'm always excited to see what Mindy has too. I will be sharing their videos here in the description on this YouTube video and also on the featured tab in our Facebook group. So you have to give me a few minutes to get back home after today's live and get all of that set up for you, but I certainly will, and you'll easily be able to find their videos today as well. So welcome everyone. I see everybody coming in from all around. Let's welcome Tom to the program. Hey, Tom.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Look at
and
you.
Happy day 3. Boy, I just love how this gives you the chance to get a little piece of Christmas every day, you know?
Every day, I know. Like Christmas usually just goes so fast, right? You spend all these months planning and you shop and you do all the things. And then within like 15 minutes, everybody opens their presents and then it feels like it's over. This really stretches it out, doesn't it?
It does.
A gift every day, something fun and new to play with and to try.
Yeah, it slows you down in one place kind of for an hour every day. And yeah, it's fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that we're putting a lot of pressure on you, Tom. Do you happen to have a word of the day again today?
Sure, I have a word of the day.
Wow.
We'll keep that going.
3 in a row. Okay, well, that's great. Well, shall we get right to it and open up today's gift?
Giddy up.
Okay, so for those of you that have your box, it's time to get your box ready and open. And I'm going to open this box and remind everybody who maybe this is your first time watching live. don't forget you have this in your box, and this QR code will take you to my YouTube channel, and then you can click on playlists and find the 12 Days of Christmas playlist, and you can watch today's video and any of the other ones that you've missed. So today we have a smaller gift. Most of the gifts are pretty big, but today is a smaller gift. And this is actually something that we do already have in our collection, but not everybody has it. And we wanted to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to try this. Plus, I'm very excited to show you today's project. So let's open today's gift together. Ooh, there's a couple of things in here. All right. So today's gift is a tube of Connect glue, a fine tip bottle, and a pack of, honestly, I think these are my favorite sequins that we have. These are the crystal clear sequins. So this is so much fun. Now, if you've never tried one of our fine tip bottles, you can put your favorite glue in here. Of course, my favorite glue is Connect glue. We have two different kinds of Connect right now. We have our original Connect glue, which is what's in here. And then we also have our new Connect matte. But today we're going to be using this Connect glue, and I'm going to show you how to add this glue into your fine tip bottle, just in case anybody doesn't know how to do that. And then I'm going to show you a couple ways that I used these sequins, and we're going to make a really fun shaker card today. Now, for those of you that missed day one, make sure you check out our designers that were in day one, because Megan Andrew was one of the designers in day one, and she showed a really neat technique for making a shaker card with this ornate frame that was day one's gift. I'm going to use that technique, and I'm also going to share a couple of other fun things that will help you make shaker cards and might eliminate some of the issues that you might have with shaker cards. So in order to fill this bottle, we're going to make it super easy. We're going to take this little protector off. Now, they come like this, right? Our team actually puts every one of these together. It's crazy. You should see it, because they come in 3 separate parts when we get them. And our team assembles all of these fine tip bottles. They come like this with this little protective cap that keeps the air out of the nozzle. But when I use this, I actually take this off and I use it this way, and then I just cap it, but I leave this off, because when I'm using it, this bothers me that it's hanging there, so I just toss it off to the side. But I don't trim it down, because I know myself. If I trimmed this down to just the cap, I would lose this cap. This big string laying on my desk makes it easier for me to keep track of it, so I keep that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make this a lot easier. And we're going to just trim down this tip, because we're going to put the whole bottle of Connect glue into this fine tip bottle. So I am going to cut this off and make it a bigger opening like that. You see that? So I cut the tip off. And now I can just pop that in to the bottle, and I can give it a good squeeze. And I don't know, Tom, let me see if I could just show it sideways. You can see how easy that glue is squeezing in there. And of course, it's a lot easier if you use 2 hands and you just squeeze it all in there. Now, tap it as you go. So squeeze, and then when it stops squeezing, tap and squeeze, tap and squeeze. Because what happens is the glue is just coming out of the center, but there's glue on the sides of the bottle, lots of it. And that needs to be tapped down toward the nozzle again. And then each time you do that, you'll find that more and more glue will come to the nozzle and squeeze out. And you'll get close to a half a bottle of glue here in your fine tip bottle. So just keep doing that until it's all gone, until like nothing else is squeezing out. And then if you're concerned that you might be losing some, you can always just grab a cup, put the cap on, and just put it in the cup upside down. and just allow anything else that might be in this bottle to flow to the tip, and you can do one final squeeze. But you can see you have a lot of glue in here. Look how full that is. That's almost filled to the top. It's more than a half a bottle.
Gina, did you fill one with matte glue too?
I do. I have one filled with matte glue, and the one that's filled with matte glue, I just put a little washi tape around it so I know the difference. But you can just write on it with a Sharpie, matte, or you can make a label if you have a label maker. And then once your glue bottle is empty, you can throw that away, and you can put your cap back on. Now, one other thing I want to tell you that a lot of people don't know, and this is an option. I don't know if this works, but I'm going to try it. I tried it with our original formula. But if you take this cap out of your Connect glue, you just take the cap out, I heard that this will screw on top, and it does. So if you prefer to use it in the original bottle, you can just use the cap if you want and screw that onto the bottle and then cap it or put a pin in it. But honestly, this bottle compared to this bottle is easier to hold and it's easier to squeeze. It's super squishy and it makes it really easy to squeeze. So I prefer doing that. But not everybody knows that you can do that if you want to do that. So now we've got our fine tip bottle filled with glue and ready to go. Now I like to take a little dish. This is just a little tiny, like a soy sauce dish or just a tiny little dish that I got somewhere. I don't even know where I got it. Somebody may have given that to me as a gift, but you know how that goes. The old brain just has too many tabs open this morning. I'll remember it as soon as we go off live. But I am going to pour my sequins into this little dish. And then I generally don't throw these away. I just keep them, and then whatever's left in there, I just keep this in the drawer. And when I start getting low, which is never because there are so many sequins in here. But if you do, you can just grab the last few out of there. So I do have to do a little shout out for somebody that's watching today. My daughter Rena, her niece Vivian is watching today. So I want to say a big shout out. Hi, Vivi. It's so good to see you. Vivian, I think she just turned 3. And so Vivian, happy birthday. I'm sorry that I missed your birthday. I didn't get to come up and see you, but I will see you for Christmas, hopefully. But I just wanted to say hi to Vivi. So good morning, Vivian. I hope you're having a good day. And to her mom, Whitney, who probably is the one who turned YouTube on for her today. Hi, Whit. How are you? I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Okay, so now we've got our sequins here ready to go. We've got our fine tip bottle here ready to go. And now I'm going to show you how to make a shaker card. I'm going to use Megan Andrews' technique, which I absolutely loved. She's brilliant. But I want to give you a couple of my little tips and tricks that I like to use as well. Okay, so let me find what I need here. First of all, I have a piece of acetate. And the acetate that I like to use is the acetate from ThermoWeb. I don't think I brought my packaging here, but ThermoWeb has clear toner sheets, and I use those for everything. These clear toner sheets are heat resistant, so you can take these toner sheets and print on them in your laser printer. Oh, I saw Whitney. Hi, Whit. So you can print on these with your toner, with your laser printer, and then you can foil on these because these are heat-resistant acetate sheets. So they're the only ones that I buy in case I want to do techniques like that. You can even use the fuse foiling gel on this acetate. Put a stencil on it, do fuse foiling gel over it, and let it dry, and then you can run it through your fuse. So I only buy this because, I mean, I don't need 10 million different kinds of acetates. Might as well use this for shaker cards too. But one of the things that I know about acetate is it can be staticky. So one thing that you can do to eliminate the static is you can wash it really well with some soap and water. I'm actually just going to spray mine down with my Tim Holtz Distress sprayer and some water. And you actually just pat it a little bit and you kind of create some humidity on it. And it's less apt to be staticky because you're going to capture some of that humidity inside of your shaker. So that is one thing that you can do to eliminate some of the static. You'll find that the sequins or your embellishments don't stick to it quite as much. Now, if you really want to prevent static, wash it with a little bit of hand soap that has lotion in it. Like, you know, some of those hand soaps are made to be like more gentle on your skin. They've got a little bit of oil in them. If you wash it with something like that, you won't get any static at all. But I'm just using water today, so I still might get a little bit of static. But that is a great tip. You're going to really be grateful for that tip when you make a shaker card and your sequins aren't all sticking to the acetate. Okay, so I'm going to trim this acetate down to, I'm going to go to the 3.5 inch mark, and then I'm going to go down a little bit from that. So it'll be like 3 3/8. Let's see, it's hard to see, so I'm going to do that, 3 3/8, and then this one would normally be 4 3/4. I'm going to take it down to 4 3/8. And if this isn't enough, we can always trim it a little bit more. But the reason why I'm trimming it down to this size, goodness, you can't see anything on here. The reason why I'm trimming it down to this size is because I'm going to use Megan's technique and use the Ornate Frame to make my shaker card. And I need this to be just a little bit smaller than the frame so I'm not fighting with it, you know, having it stick out of the sides. So that might need to come down just a little bit more. I'll take it down just a little bit more. I'm just measuring it up against that frame. So I'll cut just a tiny bit more off of there. And it is a lot easier to see this acetate when you don't have lights glaring in your eyes. It'll be easier for you to see at home. The other thing that does make it a little bit easier to see is if you put it on a piece of cardstock. So for some reason, you know, it kind of disappears on there, but it's a little easier for me to see when I have it on a piece of cardstock to cut. That's just in real life. It's still hard to see on camera either way. But putting it over a piece of cardstock when you cut it on your paper cutter will actually help you see it better. All right, so we have this. I'm going to spray it down one more time before I actually apply it to my card, just to make sure that it's going to work. But that's on the inside there, so I feel like that's going to be good. Okay, now I did cut 2 more things. I pre-cut them, actually 3 more things. I cut an ornate frame because I didn't feel like it was necessary for you to see me like plucking out every little bit and piece from this. And then I also cut out a frame from Master Layouts 20. And this was Megan Andrews' brilliant tip. Because if you're doing a shaker card with this, where are you going to put your shaker adhesive, right? If you put shaker strips behind here, you're going to see them. So Megan thought that if we lined these two up together, you still have the beautiful ornate frame. It also creates an inner frame that's translucent, and now we have a place to hide our shaker strips. So I loved that tip that she gave. I just thought that was really, really brilliant. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of our Connect glue, our new Connect glue that we just got, and I like to start it just on a little Post-it note or whatever, make sure it's coming out of the nozzle easily. And I'm going to go ahead and get this all ready. Actually, I don't need to do this. I'm just going to do these. So I'm doing the back part of the frame, this part, and then I'm doing just along these big patches, and I'm not putting any glue here. I don't need it yet, so I'm not going to do it yet, if that makes sense, because right now we're just going to put it onto the Master Layouts 18 frame that I cut out separately. So we're just going around against the long side here, and then we're doing these, just these big areas where a glue dot will fit. You don't have to do every single thing. You can use that basting brush technique that we talked about in day 1, but I would say that for this is pretty easy to do. And then you're not getting it where you don't want it, where the basting brush, when you want to get it all over everything, that's great, but here we don't want to get it all over everything. So now I'm going to line these up.
We have a technical question from Michelle.
Yes.
What do you recommend if you're having difficulty die cutting more intricate dies, even with more pressure and thinner cardstock?
I would say if you're using something other than the intricate, add some paper shims in there and just keep trying. The other thing that really helps me when I struggle with intricate die cuts is, so normally what we do when we die cut, let me just make sure this is tacked down. I'm going to put my big acrylic block over that just to get that to stay. Okay, so normally what we do is we take a piece of cardstock, we put the cardstock down onto our cutting mat, then we lay our die down, and then we put our top plate. And what I recommend, 2 things. I recommend, instead of sending it through this way, sending it through a little bit on an angle like that. It goes through the machine easier. And then I also recommend taking your whole die cut sandwich and flipping it over and sending it through your machine with the blade side up. For some reason, blade side up seems to cut better. So try those things and see if they work for you. All right. Now we're going to get to the next step here, which is we're going to put our shaker window onto this panel. All right, so I'm going to put that on this panel. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right along here, just along this line, just a little tiny bit of glue right along here. And then to make it easier, I definitely want this to stick down. So I have a little glue there, but to make it easier, I'm going to use tape along the perimeter of the Master Layouts 18. Okay. Let's find a spot to hold on to it. We want to make sure that we have enough tape on there that the acetate is going to grab onto it. Okay, and now we're going to lay that right on top, face down, making sure that it's not extending past the edges. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to make sure that it's positioned right around the outside, and once I know it's right around the outside, watch this little tip. All right, let me zoom in here. Okay. I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to push back along the edge here, because any glue, I don't want it to squirt into the window. So I'm just pushing back gently to get that glue to make contact with the acetate. And now we should be good, and we have a nice, got a few little flecks of paper there, but we have a nice acetate window. I'm sorry, this one is ML18. This one is the new Ornate Frame. ML18 is the A2 size frame. ML20 is the 5x7 size frame. So this is Master Layouts 18. If I said 20, I apologize. All right, so now we've got this all sitting here. We'll just put that block and put it off to the side and let all of that dry. Now the next thing we're going to do, let me zoom back out a little bit. Oh, and a big shout out to Brianne Loveland. Brianne, thank you again for being here. This girl is the ride or die. She is here no matter what, so I appreciate you, Brianne. Thank you so much for being here. Brianne is our link ninja. She is linking all the products that I used today that aren't in your 12 days box, just in case there's something that you see that you wish that you had. It'll be easy for you to find it because she'll share the links. Okay, so I'm putting this panel, this I cut with Master Layouts 2. I'm putting this white panel here, and I'm going to use the stencil that I used yesterday, which is the the Beautiful Backdrops. And I'm going to do some clouds going down the front of this card. So I'm going to need my ink stand. Here's my trusty ink stand. And I'm going to be using a little bit of sea glass ink today. And I'm going to be using my turquoise brush. Now, when you're making clouds, what you want to do is, and you don't have to stick it down. You can just like place it and then just hold it down like right here with your fingers. You want to actually be ink blending on the stencil and just letting the bristles trickle over the edge. You don't want to come down from the top. You want to just go like right over the edge here. See how I'm mostly on the stencil? And I'm just letting the bristles trickle over the edge. Because we want the clouds to appear white, but we need to kind of highlight the outline of them. So now I don't want to do the same. See how that's the same exact position? I want to shift it a little bit so the clouds look a little bit different on this next pass. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I am getting turquoise on my fingernail. I don't have an infection. That's just turquoise ink. Okay. And now I'm going to shift it again. So I'm going to come over this way to this part of the stencil. I'm just kind of shifting back and forth. This way the clouds aren't all completely the same. They're not exactly the same. They've got variation. All right. Now I'll go back over here. And I'm just working my way down this whole card panel.
So Gina, do you remember any Christmas craft projects as a kid?
I remember painting wooden ornaments as a kid. That was always fun. And I don't know what it was with our parents and popsicle sticks, but they would give us Elmer's glue, popsicle sticks, and a little thing of paint and say, go keep yourself busy. Do you remember any crafts?
I vaguely remember using cotton balls for the end of a Christmas hat. You know, like on paper.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the fluff around the edge of the hat.
Oh, yeah. Those were good times.
But the popsicle sticks, being boys, we made grenades out of them. You know, where you shape the 3 into a triangle and then put 2 more on and then throw it and it explodes. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the boys, a lot of the boys in the arts and crafts time of the day getting in trouble quite a bit. All right, so now I have my clouds going down the surface of that piece of cardstock. Let me get this off of here. Now we're not done with this yet. I am going to clean this though. I went a little bit outside the lines, so that's okay. I'm going to use my tidy towel. Don't use anything other than something like a tidy towel and water to clean this, because you don't want to use alcohol or anything like that. Alcohol does remove sticky off of things, but it'll also remove all the sticky off your sticky mat, and then it won't work anymore. So only use water on the sticky mat. They stay sticky pretty long. They are a consumable item, which is why they're inexpensive. Ultimately, it does wear off, but for the most part, it'll last pretty long. And then I am going to take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and just clean my stencil here. I don't know what it is about the weekend lives, but I feel so much more relaxed. I don't feel rushed. Maybe it's because I don't feel like everybody's like here on their lunch hour trying to get out, you know? I just feel very chill.
Your phone is quieter too.
My phone is so much quieter. Yes, it's lovely. Okay, now I'm going to take this snowy background stamp and I'm going to add a little bit of snow to this panel. So the way I like to use background stamps is I never take them off their sheet. I just leave that index sheet on there. I just turn them on their back. And then I'm going to use my favorite color for snow, even though it has nothing to do with snow. For some reason, it looks really pretty, is light spruce. I know, green snow. There's probably something wrong with that, but I love this color for snow. Alrighty. So I'm just inking this up because I don't know exactly where I'm going to land. So I want to make sure I got it all.
I think most of our viewers grew up in the traditional Christmas environment, American Christmas environment. For those of you who didn't, welcome. Hope the stories aren't too crazy, but it's a great tradition, and we had so much fun. So many different memories. Pets.
You should come
with
in,
Christmas.
Tom.
Pets definitely work. There have definitely been a few trees taken down by pets throughout the years, right? Whether it's a cat or a dog, and dressing up the animals. The kids like to dress up the animals for Christmas, and
for sure. All right, so I have to ink this up. I got to do this like within a second of inking this up. So what I'm going to do here is...
that's right, we're crafting today.
So I have this all inked up, and then I'm going to lay this down face down onto the background stamp, and then I'm going to rub my hand all over it to make contact with it. And that is a hair. I don't know where that came from, but it's stuck to the acetate. So, and then you get a nice impression there without having to pretty much drive your car over a background stamp. So, hey Tom, do you remember what we used to do to the kids? Speaking of stories.
Well, I do remember, there are some dads that go really, really above and beyond. The dads who dress up as Santa Claus and have real reindeer in the backyard. It's like some of the things these guys pull off is amazing. I have to say, I didn't quite go to those lengths, but I do remember leaning over the bed Christmas morning one time or two times, banging on the wall, trying to simulate hoof prints.
Yeah, I remember you standing on our bed and banging on the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
Banging on the ceiling.
Well, that might have been another night. I was trying...
at like 5 o'clock in the morning, kind of simulating that Santa landed on the roof.
On the wall, that was the easiest. And they thought it was reindeer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a few of those kinds of stories, right? Where you...
I do.
Went off the edge?
I do. One of the things that I used to do is, so we would go to church on Christmas Eve. And then you know how hard it is to get kids to go to sleep on Christmas Eve. I mean, it's even hard for me to go to sleep on Christmas Eve, just knowing that, it's Christmas the next day, right? So what I would do is we would go to Mass. It wasn't Mass because it wasn't a Catholic church, but we would go to church on Christmas Eve. And then on the way home, I knew that there was a cell phone tower in the distance. And on the cell phone towers, there's a light that blinks, a little red light that blinks. And Whitney, if Vivian's watching, it's probably a good time to turn off the video.
I think she did. She's
Okay, good.
It's snap time now.
Okay, so the cell phone tower had this little red light that would blink at the top. And in the winter, it's all dark, so you couldn't really see the cell phone tower. All you could see was the red light. So we'd be driving home, and I would look to the side, and I would go, and the kids would go, "What's wrong, Mom?" And I'd say, "Look at the sky. That's Rudolph." Oh my goodness, girls, as soon as we get home, you have to go right to sleep because Santa's already in Wisconsin. Do you see Rudolph's nose blinking? And they would go, "Oh, Mommy, hurry up, Daddy, drive faster, drive faster." And so they would get home and they would run right upstairs, brush their teeth, and get in bed. It was the greatest lie I ever told to get the kids to go to sleep. So for those of you that are young moms, try that. It really works. They want to go to sleep right away. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know what's more fun, the being a kid at Christmas or having kids at Christmas. It's all part of the same, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think being a kid at Christmas is more fun. It's a lot less work. Okay, so now I am going to use a stamp from this set here, and this is called Winter Terrain. I love this set. It's got like different winter, basically terrain looks. You know, these tall pines, these thick, dense pines, and then this little village here. And you can use any of these that you want or any other trees that you want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp these on here, but I don't really want them to look like, you know, black silhouettes. I want them to look like they're a little more in the distance. So I'm going to line these up so that they're more at the bottom of this frame. So I'm using the frame as my guide here to let me know how far down I need to stamp these because I want them to sneak under the frame. And I think that's going to look good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move it over a little bit this way and make sure that it is straight. So straight up and down. Okay?
Oh, it looks like several viewers have used the radio tower.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It's like, it's just what we need as parents. Those towers, they're the best thing to happen. Now, I'm going to use some soft stone ink for this because, like I said, I want these trees to look like they're set back more. They're not right there in our face. They're a little more subtle. So I'm inking this up with soft stone. Get that on there. And that just gives us a real, very soft, mystical look. And don't worry that it doesn't connect over here because remember, all of that's going to get hidden behind the shaker stuff. Okay. There we go. Good enough. I like that it's soft. And that's going to also soften up, lighten up a little bit more as this ink dries. Because our inks go on just a hair darker than the actual color. Once it dries up to the color that's on the lid, and it dries very smooth with the smoothing agent. All right, so now we've got our little background here. I'm going to put this stamp away. This was Winter Terrain.
Susie got an Easy Bake Oven. Did you get one of those?
I had an Easy Bake Oven. I loved my Easy Bake Oven. That was like the premier gift, to get an Easy Bake Oven. Who would have thought cooking with a light bulb would be so exciting to kids? But it was, wasn't it? Okay. Ooh, I'm getting shocked here by my my earphone. Getting shocked. Let me spray myself down here with a little bit of water. I feel like I'm all... There we go. That's better. Okay. Now, once again, I'm going to put a little mist of water on here, but I'm not going to spray it because I don't want it to get the cardstock wet. But I'm just going to put a little bit on this paper towel, and then again, I'm just going to put a little mist of water on there just to add some humidity. And now I'm going to take some of these sequins and I'm going to pour them in here. Now these sequins are a mix of little flat sequins and also flowers. And some of the flowers are a little big. They're great like to put in the center of flowers, but they have a very snowflakey shape to them. So I think that they work really nicely even with this. So I'm going to put a mix of those sequins on there. And I'm going to just put that aside. Now, I like using our shaker strips. I don't know if you've ever seen the Gina K Designs shaker strips, but they come like this. They come in a pack like this. You get 2 sheets of these, and they're actual strips, foam strips. So they're like the perfect size. They make the sides of the shaker card look super neat because it's not a million little jagged pieces. And I like using these. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to put it just right in the center here, coming down this card, in between the stitched lines. You can see the stitched lines. I think you can, but there's stitched lines on either side of that. And then I'm just going to take my scissors, and I'm going to just trim that down. Okay, and then I save these pieces for other things that I want to pop up. And I'm going to do the same thing here. This just makes it look so neat on the side. And the other thing that's very cool about these shaker strips, I'll show you another little trick that you might enjoy. But let me do this first. So now, to get this to fit perfectly in here, I'm going to butt it up against one side. And then I'm going to, just tack it down a little bit. And then I'm going to rest my scissors where the blade of my scissor is leaning on this, right there. And that's where I'm going to cut. And that's how I'm going to get that perfect fit there. So we don't want any sequins to escape. And then, will this fit? No, I'll cut another one.
Well, you could do baseboarding in the house.
Yeah, right? Well, I'm not mitering them, though. I'm just trimming them down. But that really, helps you line them up. And they're just so neat and clean looking from the side. Now, another thing that you can do, if you were putting this on, let's say you were putting this, I'm going to use this yellow here. Let me cut a little piece of yellow cardstock just to show you. So let's say you were putting these on some yellow cardstock, like this, all right? And it's yellow on the front. See, I have white on white, so it'll blend nicely. But let's say it's yellow on the side. All you have to do is get a bright yellow Copic marker or any alcohol marker that matches. And you can go in and you can color the foam to match the cardstock. So now the yellow blends in with the yellow. You can do that with any color and just color all around the perimeter, and then that foam will kind of blend in. I was waiting for that. Oh, Tom, that's funny. So hopefully that helps some of you, because, if you're doing like maybe black, right? And that white just stands out so much around the edges, but if you color it with a black Copic marker, it just completely disappears into the cardstock. So, another little tip for you today. Now, we've got these all ready to go. Now, before I do this, I'm gonna do one more thing.
Beverly wants to know, can you use shaker strips on round cards?
You can, because the thing about these shaker strips is you can put the shaker strip down and you can bend it. Now, it doesn't bend nicely unless you pull this off. But once you pull that off, look, you can bend it. You can go into a circle shape. And see how nice and smooth you can make that? So you can just finish it off however you want, and it does look so much better. So you'll have a seam, but it's not a problem because you can just bend it. The thing is you have to take this off, otherwise it's not going to bend well. Okay. So now I cut this out with Master Layouts too, but I want to make life easier for myself. Trying to line this up with these sticky foam strips, if I lay it down wrong, ugh, and then I don't want it to be jagged on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit off of each side. So I'm just going to cut along the stitching. And the stitching is what's really helping me, which is why I used Master Layouts too, because it tells me a really nice amount to trim off around the perimeter. I just have to line it up along the stitching, just a little past the stitching, and that'll take off just enough that I don't have to be quite so perfect when I'm laying this down. See, I've got some room around the perimeter. Okay. So now I'm going to put these one more time. I'm just going to add a little bit more moisture because I'm telling you, I'm getting shocks on my earphone, and that's because it is so dry in here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask myself for a humidifier for Christmas for my studio here. Now, one more little tip. A lot of times sequins will get stuck wherever your adhesive is. So what I like to do is I take my embossing magic pad, I bounce it on my surface a little bit, and I take a dry paintbrush and I pick up some of that dust and I just rub it along the edges of the foam strips. That gets rid of any tackiness in any places where your sequins or other embellishments might want to get caught. You're actually just removing the stickiness. And it's also real important to make sure that they're pressed down. That will help too. Sometimes we lay them down gently and they're not completely pressed. But this is really a helpful way to eliminate any of that stickiness that might still be there close to the edge. Sometimes you get stickiness near the edge. Okay. So there we go. And then I'll just clean that up. And now I'm going to pour these sequins in here. To get them where we want them. I'm going to take the real big ones out. It's the only ones that I don't want in there. So and then before I commit, I'm going to lay this on top like this, and then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to see if I like the way it looks. So do I feel like I have enough in there? I feel like I do. I feel like that's enough. Some of them were kind of clumped together, but I feel like that is a good amount. So yeah, see, it has to do with the lack of humidity in this room. So we're going to put a little bit more. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this anti-static pad and I'm going to rub this over here to remove some of the static. And then I will put my sequins back on here and I will add some more humidity. But I'm telling you, get a humidifier if it's the winter in your craft room, and your shaker cards will work much better. It's just that we don't have enough humidity. And in Wisconsin, for the fact that we have so much snow, you would think that there would be moisture out there, but there isn't. It's dry. It's very dry. So water is your friend. Lotiony water is even more your friend. But here we go. All right. So I'm taking these off. And I'm going to place this. See how they're just jumping because of the lack of humidity? But it's okay. All right. Now I've got that cute little shaker, and that's going to look like snow. But at least that little bit of moisture in there allows them to jump back down when you tap it. And I think that's just the perfect amount. Okay, so now I want to use a darker blue than what's in my background here. So I'm going to use some blue denim. I'm going to take these headphones off because I'm seriously getting shocked. So if I miss any of the sound effects, I'm going to be bummed. I don't have any blue denim. Did I bring blue denim with me? No, I didn't. Well, let's see. Maybe I have some blue denim in here. Oh, I do. Okay, so here is a piece of blue denim. I don't know why I don't always look to my scraps first. Now here's another little hint. I could use the back panel for Master Layouts too, but when it comes to shaker cards and how far away this shaker box is from the actual card itself, I like to go a bit bigger with my frame. It's the only time I like a wider frame, to be honest with you. So you could use one of the dies from Master Layouts 1 instead. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to free form cut it here to be the size of Master Layouts 1, which is 3 3/4. Let me make sure this is going to fit first. Okay, it does. So it's 3 3/4 by 5, which is what that is. There we go. 3 3/4 by 5. And then when I lay this shaker box on top, even though it's, you know, far away, I can still see the outline. If I tried to use one, and I'll show you what I mean, if I tried to use one that we normally use that's a real tight layer, let me show you how that just doesn't really look that great. Well, it won't look bad, but it's so tight that depending on the angle, it's almost hard to see. It's not bad, but I like seeing a little bit more of it, especially if you have it turned to the side a little bit. You just get a little bit more of the color. I know, no black today. I'm doing blue. Can you believe it? What is happening? Okay. So now I'm going to adhere these two panels together. And I'm going to pop this down. I'm just looking the top and the sides. And we'll pop it down. There we go. Looks pretty good when I hold it up this way. I feel like it's down a little low. Luckily, our tape runner is forgiving. It's always hard for me to see lining up when it comes to a shaker because there's this illusion, right? I mean, the card itself is so far away from the background. I'm going to go up a little higher. I think that's what it needed.
All right. Can we sneak in a word of the day, you think? We had a few requests.
Yeah. Okay. And while you do your word of the day, Tom, I'm going to stamp these two little raccoons from day 1 or day 2. This is from the A Paper Hug. So these two little raccoons, I'm going to stamp them. And I'm going to stamp, yeah, I'm just going to stamp them. And then I'm going to do some coloring. So, all right.
Well, today's a quick one anyway.
A word of the day?
Word of the day.
Yeah, we need the word of the day.
So today's word of the day, if you've ever taken an Uber ride and gotten in and the Uber ride or the interior of the Uber was less than tidy and maybe the handle was sticky or something from candy or something like that. Then you didn't take an Uber ride, you took a goober ride.
Oh my God.
You took a goober. That's the word of the day. Back to the Christmas dead space. Silent night.
Silent night. That's funny. Oh my gosh. A goober ride. I need to call a goober. I'm going to remember that. Sometimes they can be a little sticky. Oh, good one. I like that. Okay. So now I'm going to do some very, very simple Copic coloring. I have N4, which is just a neutral gray. And I'm just going to color these little areas. See, I can't stay in the lines very well. I'm not very good at this, especially with this brush tip. I have all the other nibs that I can change them out, but I just haven't done it yet. And then I started looking at the Olo markers, and I have some of those, so that's all right. We'll deal with my outside of the lines. I think we're okay. There we go. Their little faces. And then we'll do their little bodies to match. And truly, I would zoom in, but there's no point because I am not teaching you anything right now. I could zoom in so that you could see what not to do, but that's the extent of that. Okay, and then I'm going to use a lighter gray. I've got N1 that is basically a non-color, but it just softens things up a little bit. It's a gray. You can see that, but it's just so light. But I'm just going to color these in. I'm not doing any shading or anything like that. I did go out of the lines there, so that'll look a little shaded. Not intentional, but it's working to my benefit. And the ink that I'm using is just our regular Gina K Designs Black Onyx ink, because the Black Onyx works fine with Copic markers without smearing. Oh, that should have been the darker color. That's part of his little body. Actually, it probably shouldn't, but we'll do it anyway to match the other one. The Black Onyx ink is just fine for Copic markers because it is a water-based ink, and Copic markers are a solvent-based coloring medium. You would use the amalgam if you were wanting to do watercolor. Then you need something that is more solvent-based. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of gray on the side here, just so it's not so stark white. Okay, and now I'm going to color their scarf. Well, they're sharing a scarf. It's so cute.
Shannon said she used to do raccoon rehab, raise and release. Love the raccoons.
Oh, wow. That is amazing.
That is amazing.
Well, thank you for that service. People that work with animals are just special angels in the world. And then I'm going to add, that was BG53, not that it matters. I'm going to add a little BG13. I only say not that it matters because, I mean, I'm sure you all color better than this. But I'm just adding like a little bit of low light in places that it shouldn't be. Because that's what I do. Okay, so I think they're colored enough. I think they look cute enough. I'm going to put this stamp back, and then we're going to die cut that out using the coordinating stamp.
That reminds me, Shannon, shout out to our HAWS, Milwaukee Humane Animal Welfare Society. They helped us when we had a poor Canadian goose in our right near our loading dock, and
Oh,
it just
yeah.
was one of the coldest days last year, and it just sat there.
Yeah, it was hurt.
It was I think it may have had the bird flu,
Oh,
but they came out. They took it, and boy, they come out for the wild animals, you
Yeah.
know, when the wild animals need help, and it's all the shout out to all the Humane Society and animal welfare organizations that
yep.
are out
That's
there.
one of our charities that we like to contribute to, because animals, they're pretty precious, aren't they? They really are. And the wild ones, I mean, they don't. It's so cold here in Wisconsin. I don't know how they make it. I really don't. Okay, I'm cutting this out. Yeah, that was great that they came out. And I'm sure that they took care of it and they made sure that it was comfortable.
They seem to know what to do in any situation.
Yeah, they
the
do.
right thing to do.
All right, so I cut those little guys out. And now we're going to assemble this card. So I'm going to put this onto a sea glass card base.
Beth wants to know, what color would you make the clouds to make it a night scene?
Boy. You know what I might do? I might use darker cardstock, like maybe navy cardstock, and then just real lightly use a little bit of white pigment ink, just to show the white tips of the clouds, but keep that sky real dark. Try that and see how that looks. Okay.
Yes, Zeus is probably sleeping away the day right now.
Oh, yeah. He's good.
Do any of you pet owners out there, after naming your pet or adopting a pet that has a name, use every name in the book but that name?
We do that.
We rename. We tend to rename our pets and have all kinds. Like Zeus has become Goose, and
now he's Gooseberry and Goosebump and Goosesicle and
yeah,
Goose Pimple. It's just
Goosebump.
Goosebump. Everything but his name. We all do that, right? I mean, I did that with my kids too. Okay.
Goosterdom.
So we're just gonna pop that right there on the side. All right, I'm just gonna do it with some tape here. Just put it right there on the side like that, right on the outside. And then I made this card last night, so I have another one here that is ready to go. See, my house has humidity, so I don't have quite the same static that I have here. Well, it's pretty good, though. I mean, these are falling pretty good. But I want to show you what I did to the inside, okay? So on the inside, I just cut Master Layouts 2 and a blue denim Master Layouts 2 larger rectangle. And then I stamped the Warm and Loving Wishes, and then I stamped the 3 hearts, all from this little set. There's the 3 little hearts. I stamped those in Tranquil Teal. And so I have that same snowy background stamp that's here on the inside. So this way, the inside of your card is decorated too, and then that works with the outside of your card. So I have 2 of them ready to go. Now, let me just show you a couple other options if you didn't want to just leave the front of your card plain. So we have this stamp set called Festive Phrases, which I love. It's a big stamp set, and when I created the Festive Phrases, we used the same font here that we used with the big Festive Phrases. And so here is a Merry and Bright cut with Tranquil Teal, and you could pop that up here and turn this into a Christmas card. So that would be Merry and Bright, and then on the inside it would say sending warm and loving wishes. And then you could write Merry Christmas, all our love, whatever you want. Now, if you don't like the big greeting, you don't want to, have that much, you could maybe use a little strip sentiment. So let's say it was a birthday. You could put a little birthday wishes right down here. Maybe just overlap it along their legs. Maybe you could put it just a little bit higher, like right there. And then that could be a birthday card. My birthday's in February, so that would be a great birthday card for me, right? A winter birthday wishes, and then inside, I keep forgetting this is the one, sending warm and loving wishes. And you could write happy birthday, all my love, Gina. Okay. And then I'll leave this open. If that is too small for you, maybe it's something like you want to just send a thank you card. You could do like a thankful for you, just something small like that. And then inside, sending warm and loving wishes. Thanks for all you do. So you don't have to leave the front plain. I think I'll make mine a birthday card because I like the idea of this little strip sentiment going across, and I like the idea of making this a birthday card instead of a Valentine's Day card or a Christmas card. I mean, there are many, many of us out there with winter birthdays where we love winter-themed birthday cards. So we'll just put this right here, and that'll go right across the center on the acetate. There we go. So there we go. There's our little birthday card. We've got the inside greeting. So that is a fun way to use these sequins, and a great little lesson on filling your glue bottle. Now, what I've come to love are these stainless steel pins. I did order a bunch of different kinds on Amazon because I want to make sure that the thickness works before I recommend one. But this thickness works. This was a gift to me, and it works great. So what I've been doing lately is I just like clean it out before I put the cap back on, and that has made a big difference to not needing, to have to like get stuck glue out of there. Right before I close it up, I clean it out with that pin. Okay, now let me show you one more way that you can use the sequins. I made a card for you. Let me find the card. Where is it? Here it is. So this is the Stellar Snowflake stencil. And I just stenciled this with Wild Wisteria, Turquoise Sea, and Lucky Clover. And I loaded it up with the small flat sequins from today's sequins. And look how beautiful they look. That is just so pretty. It just jazzes up snowflakes. It jazzes up flowers. You can do beautiful, beautiful embellishing on any card. And what I love about these is they're completely flat. So you don't have to worry about extra postage. You don't have to worry about it getting damaged. You don't have to worry about it breaking through the envelope because the little ones in this assortment are completely flat. So they're great for those embellishments that you're sending in the mail. And then the flowers that are in here are really fun for shaker bits, and they're also fun for the center. So if I was not doing if I wasn't going to mail this, I'd put one of the big florally ones in the center. You could put it either cupward, cup side up, or you could put it cup side down, and that just really accentuates the center of that snowflake. These are also really pretty in the centers of flowers. And you can just load it up with our matte glue and plop it in there and just let it sit, and all that glue will just disappear. You won't even be able to see it, and you'll have that nice big embellishment in the center of your flowers. So that's another fun way to use these sequins. So we thought we would have one consumable. It's the only item in your box that is already part of our collection. Everything else for the rest of the days are brand new. But this is the only thing. We figured one staple is always good to have. And it's a good one because I really wanted to share some of these shaker techniques and, just show how nice these flat sequins are. And not everybody has tried our flat sequins. So this is going to give you an opportunity to really see how pretty they are. Oh, and these greetings came from our mixed messages sentiment sheets and our holiday sentiment sheets. So you could find all different sentiment sheets. These are also foilable too. So if you wanted to foil them, you could step them up. So that was such a fun little gift today. We've got our Connect glue, we got our fine tip bottle, and we got our crystal clear sequin mix. Super fun. Well, day 3 is behind us now. Now we get to play with our sequins in day 1 and day 2 and make a whole bunch of cards until tomorrow, where we get to open our next gift. And I'm so excited for tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun. Now, if you like this video, and we sure hope that you have, if you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up, that would be just awesome. And then if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and all notifications so you never miss another video. And then a big shout out once again to Brianne Loveland for linking everything in the chat today so you could find all of these additional products. But if you missed her link, you can find everything that I used today on our website at ginakdesigns.com. And then if you're not a member of our Facebook group, come on over. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. You can find it on Facebook. We've got almost 50,000 members, and we are all sharing our projects using the Christmas box, the 12 Days of Christmas box, and other Gina K Designs projects. So if you're using all Gina K Designs projects, we welcome you to share those projects in our Facebook group. If you're mixing with other companies, then please share on your social media and give us a hashtag. The hashtag is GKD 12 Days of Christmas. So Tom can throw that hashtag up on the screen for you so that you can see it. Just go ahead and jot that down. GKD 12 Days of Christmas with the little hashtag sign in front of it. Or for those of you that are in my age group, the pound sign. And this way I search like Instagram and Facebook for that hashtag. And if you've posted it on your own social media, I get to see those projects too. Well, everybody, this was so much fun. We have a gift card to give away. So if you haven't left a comment, make sure you leave one, because every day throughout the whole 12 days of Christmas, we are giving away a $100 Gina K Designs gift card. But if you don't have a 12 Days of Christmas box, you can trade that gift card in for a box. We saved 12 boxes just in case our winners didn't have boxes. We wanted to make sure that they could get in on the 12 days boxes. And I know a lot of people are asking, are these products going to be available in our store? Most of them will be eventually. Of course, they're going to be full price, not that discount that you got by buying it as a 12 days box. But most of the products, especially things like the die frame and this little stamp and die bundle, that it will come back to our store sometime in 2026. So look out for that as well. All right, Tom, are you ready to give away a gift card today?
Let's go.
All right.
Drum roll for the winner. All right, day 3 winner here on Stampin' Chat is Susan Towner. Susan Towner.
Yay, Susan. Congratulations, Susan. You are our winner. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and you can let them know whether you'd like a $100 Gina K Designs gift card, or if you didn't get the box, you can trade it in for the 12 Days of Christmas box. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here with us today. Brianne, once again, thank you for all your help. Oh, Brianne said something so funny yesterday. She said, Tom's in the dead space, Gina's in the bright space, and Brianne's in the web space. And she is. She's there on the web, just linking. She's got all her windows open on her phone. I don't know how she does it, but she's amazing. So, Brianne, thank you again so much. We appreciate all your help with our lives. All right, everybody. Well, tomorrow is day 4. We will be going live once again at 12 noon Central Time. We hope that you will join us for that too. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.